All right. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday. I was about to say happy Monday because so used to doing this on Mondays. Um, but we're switching it up, trying something new. Let's see how it sticks. Maybe this might be the new streaming day, but we'll have to see and find out. But regardless, how's everyone doing today? Yeah, as you can see, the market has pumped. We have a couple things to talk about. I'm looking forward to going through today's session. Hopefully, helping you guys learn something new. If you guys have any questions regarding me, the way I trade, the strategy, my setups, and everything in between, please let me know. This is the time to do so. If you guys are in the YouTube and Twitch chat, like I said, say hello, drop a comment, ask a question. It's good to see you guys. Hopefully, I'll do my best to keep an eye on chat. And hopefully we can answer as many questions or at least get through, and hopefully you guys can walk away with, at the end of the day, learning something new. It's always the goal with these streams. And I'm very happy and very excited to be here. So let's see. Fixman. Hey Johnny, how you doing today? I'm doing good, my friend. How are you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. Good to see you. But yeah, if you guys are in Discord, please feel free to stop me whenever if you guys have any questions. And please, and also I'll keep an eye on chat on the Discord end as well. So if you guys want to leave a chat, let's see. Stream will be recorded. I had to go. Yeah, so I'll drop the link for the stream. If you want to always come back and rewatch it, I can definitely leave that for you. Where is it? There it is. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started today. So if you guys are new to me or new to if you're just stopping by for the first time, first of all, I want to say welcome. And secondly, I want to say if you guys are not familiar with the strategy that I trade, it is called the ABC strategy. Pretty much on the basic terms that what we're doing here is identifying trends in groups of threes. All right, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. And then the goal is to go ahead and either trade a reversal or a possible continuation. Now, the ABC method, for a brief summary, is basically a variation of Elliott wave theory. What Elliott wave theory is pretty much trying to go ahead and predict the market in similar fashion, but we do things a little bit different. And I'll explain how where the root of that, how the root of the ABC method came from, or where it came from. And pretty much the Elliott wave pretty much says, okay, aggressive uptrends or downtrends move in waves in 1 through 5s, and we traditionally have pullbacks in an ABC fashion, and then that becomes part of a larger 1, 2, etc., 3, 4, 5. All right, and that's generally the concept of it. There's other variations of patterns, different types of correction waves you can go ahead and talk about, but that's just the main gist of it. And basically what the ABC method is pretty much saying, hey, look, you can, instead of looking at that through that lens, look at the impulse waves in groups of threes. You'll be surprised to see that your 1, 2, 3 is actually an A, your fourth is a B, your fifth is a C. And what that does is basically it helps, how do I say this? It helps bring all the information together in a little bit more of a more digestible way of understanding how the market moves. The problem with Elliott wave theory that I see, and I think is common, not just in Elliott wave theory, but throughout trading in general, is that they're trying very hard to go ahead and predict market moves, try to understand exactly what is going to happen next. And I don't think that's necessarily the best lens to look at things from. Our goal and our job as ABC traders is to understand the opportunities that the market gives us and then take the trades as the opportunities come. We're not chasing opportunities. We're not looking for certain things to happen. We're not expecting certain moves, certain targets, etc. We're just waiting for the market to tell us, hey, we're weak when it comes to this uptrend. We're weak when it comes to this downtrend. Here's a possible trade. Our job as a trader is to go ahead and take those trades and play into the probabilities. So let me give you a quick example of what each trade looks like from each side. Like I mentioned before, we have an ABC to the upside, ABC to the downside. Pretty much all we're doing when you get an ABC to the upside, we're looking to short as soon as price gets back above the previous A and then reclaims that level back below. Right. Hopefully we can get a move to the downside. Vice versa when it comes to the long position is that we're waiting for price to put in a downtrend, a pullback, and a continuation lower. Once that continuation lower happens, we're looking for price to come up, rebound, and cross back above the pivot of the A, and then go ahead and continue. And hopefully we can catch a move to the upside. That's pretty much the gist of it. I'll be going over a bunch of examples here. If you guys have any questions about the ABC method, please, feel free to leave it in chat. Let's see. Oh, BetaBot, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Hey, Johnny, I am shaking now. Do you think we are ready to dump? We'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. I have mixed opinions on what could be happening. The most important thing is that we're sticking to the levels. We're waiting for the market to basically develop, show us where either if it can continue higher or if we could show signs of weakness and continue lower. But we'll definitely go over that here shortly. First things first, what I like to do for those who might not have seen this before, one of the things I try my best to do is to go into a larger time frame, right, and try to pick apart the larger trend and kind of not necessarily, like I said, we're not trying to predict. I'm just trying to show you guys what price can do, what the possibilities of price, or what the possibilities of what can happen in the near future. And from there, we can kind of go ahead and dive into the smaller time frame, quote unquote, smaller time frame, because I still use a relatively large time frame, and talk about what the next possibility or how we can go ahead and navigate the larger move. Right. So without further ado, first things first, we have an A to a B to a C here. Now, the question is this the beginning of something or the end of something? What I mean by that is a lot of the times, the more you look in the ABCs, the more you play with this, the more you, go back in previous price action and look at prior moves and what has happened in the past. Sometimes what you'll see is sometimes an ABC will lead to a much larger A, right? And then from there, it'll form a B to a C, right? So maybe the initial move might not actually be the completed trend, but it might be actually the start of something or a start of a larger ABC. That's kind of what I'm talking about when it comes to going back and saying, you know what, this could be a larger part of a beginning of a larger trend or the end of a trend. And that's basically the context of what I'm trying to say when I say, oh, is this the beginning of something or the end of something? Let me show you what that looks like on the larger time frame. So we have an ABC here. Now the question is this the beginning or the end of something? Right? If this is the beginning of something, this is a part of a larger A, right? We're in the process of putting in a larger B wave, right? And then we can possibly look for a much larger extension of the downside. Now, to me, this is a very, very this is the most bearish case scenario I have. And let me go ahead. I want to show you because I already have this saved. Maybe I don't. Was I stupid and deleted everything? I think I was stupid and deleted everything. Great. Was messing around with charts last night. I think I made a boo-boo. So pretty much I'll just redraw it real quick. Something like this to where we eventually come back down and put in a lower low. If we are going to put in a major downside trend or a larger reversal to where we continue to lower lows, I'm not really too concerned about where it's going to go. All I need is a lower low past the previous low. From there, whether if it's just a tiny wick past the previous low or if we go all the way back down to 10K, that doesn't necessarily matter to me. All it matters is I need to see that lower low be basically broken and then reclaimed. So that is the most bearish case scenario for me, in my personal opinion, about what is going on in the longer term. A kind of more middle of the road option is that maybe this ABC was the end, right? And maybe we're looking for some sort of, we're in some larger A, whether we put it in the top here or maybe put it one more high, or who knows. I'm not too sure exactly where price is going to top that out. But just for an example, we put in a high, we put in a larger pullback, but we don't ever see a new low. We just put in a larger retracement and then we continue higher, right? It really depends. I don't know exactly how far that's going to drag out. We can get an extended, more elongated downtrend before continuing higher. That's fine as well. What's most important is understanding that we do not put in a new low. All right. That's more of the, long, medium term bearish to longer term bullish idea. And that's pretty much it when it comes to understanding the larger possible ideas that I have, regardless of what scenario we're looking at. If we do not put in a higher high and we do not continue to the upside, what I'm eventually looking for is some sort of continuation lower. Now, whether it's a smaller pullback or a larger reversal to where we go ahead and test, potentially 19K, if not the lower low, we're not. It's a little bit too close to call, too early to call, in my opinion. We just have to wait and see how price, see when price is going to eventually put in that pullback. Whether it's now or later, it's really too close to call, or too early to call. And when it comes to the lower time frame, now that we understand what could be happening, I want to go ahead and just kind of pick apart what's going on here and talk about what I'm looking for. Right now, when I trade on the lower time frame, I usually go anywhere from a 30-minute from the lowest to a 2 hour. But the most important thing to understand is perspective, right? Understanding that you have to not focus on the time frame itself, but understanding that you need to see as much price action as you can see. The best way to do that, in my opinion, is to start off with a 2 hour time frame. It really depends on your monitor. It really depends if you're using your cell phone or not. I would say if you're using your cell phone, I would say maybe a 4 to 8 hour. It's probably a good range just because there's smaller screen resolution. I'm using a very large 1080p monitor, so for me, a 2 hour time frame is more than enough. If you have a high resolution monitor, you can get away with a slightly smaller time frame. But regardless, we're trying to focus on the entirety of this move, and we're trying to go ahead and see what could be going on here. In my opinion, this is what I see. To me, we have an A to a B to a C, right? Which is, starts a large A. We have we have a larger pullback, a larger separation trend for the C, or sorry, for the B. And then now we're putting in a much larger extension of the C wave. Now, until we get that new high, as of now, I'm going to say that this is the top of the C wave, but we always have room to put in one more high. Definitely possible. But regardless, this to me looks like a very large completed trend. And we can definitely start to see that, in my opinion, unless we just, blast off to 40, 50K, I really don't see this uptrend, at least this aggressive of an uptrend lasting that long, or at least lasting as long as some people might think. So to me, that's what I think is going on. Now, if we kind of focus in a little bit more on what's this going on in the C wave, right? To me, we have an A to a B to a C. Now, to me, this is not the cleanest setup, but it's large enough. There's a large separation in trend for me to definitely count this as a trade to go ahead and attempt. So as long as we're below 29,300, actually, I am wrong on that. 29,220. Right, that is going to be the level of entry for me. I have gotten stopped out because I'm using a 2% stop, not a 3%. If you're using a 3%, I think you might still be in this trade. But for me, I'm using slightly different risk parameters since we are at higher price points. So for me, I'm willing to reduce my stop loss, let it go, and wait to get re-entered. So as long as we're below that pivot, to me, that is a good enough. That is a good area to go ahead and show bearish. I wouldn't say sentiment, but more of a bearish confluence to kind of show, hey, you know what? Maybe we're not as strong as we are. But if we are going to go ahead and continue to pump, remember, guys, this is all probabilities. As of now, we're currently above that based on how I see things. As long as we're below that pivot, probabilities for more downside are higher. As long as we're above, technically that's less. The next level I'll be willing to take, which I think, I've thought about this before I hopped on here, and I'll talk about this more in detail if you guys want. But when I look at this trend here, to me, this is a much larger, much clearer separation, right, than this is. Okay. So if that's the case, what I do is I'm going to include all this as one larger A to a B to a C. If we do pump higher, I think I'm willing to take one more set of shorts. And then, to be honest, if we could just continue to blast off and pump through this, I'm going to kind of, sit back, wait for another opportunity to show itself. But until then, if we do, let's say, just get a false break, reclaim that level, that's probably my last area that I'm willing to short, to be honest, because I don't want to keep trying to catch every single top. Um, and we're kind of dwindling down on the setups that make sense, in my opinion. So that's something I'm looking for. That's going to be the next position I'm taking. I will let you guys know in David's group as well as in my group what I'm planning on doing, and hopefully we can see what the market wants to do once we get to that point. Let's see. Illusion, hi Johnny, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Beta bot, emote, let's see, heart faced. Oh, heart emoji. I hope so. We'll have to see what happens. Like I said, it's all about probabilities at this point. I showed you guys the levels that matter. One more thing I want to show you guys before we continue forward, because that's pretty much the game plan for me when it comes to BTC, is that I really don't have a long position open. I know some people might have, tried this one. To me, this is too small of a time frame. It's an ABC, but they took the ABC within the C. To me, it just wasn't worth taking, in my opinion. But we'll see how that plays out. But one more thing I want to show you guys before we go ahead and continue is I want to show you guys basically the areas of resistance that are important to me. That's something I want to keep an eye out on. All right. Let's see. I wish I didn't delete all my stuff, but I'll just draw it on the fly. So pretty much when it comes to important areas of resistance, in my opinion, obviously we're back above the previous 29 200 level. So next step logically to test is 31K. From there, if we continue to break through that, 32,487 or 32,490, depending on exactly where your chart says. But that previous high back here, back in June of 22 or May, end of May, early June, that's the next logical step. If we continue to break through, to be honest, there's nothing really significant until about 48K. Now, you can make a claim that there's some resistance here at 40 and then 42,950. Yes, but to me, the more significant, top of a trend, the beginning of a downtrend is at 48,165. So, we have a lot of resistance to break through. But if we can't break through it, we do have to consider the possibility that we can keep going. I'm not really too concerned about that at the moment. For me, it's a level by level situation. As long as if we're above a certain resistance, I'm looking at the next resistance. If we can break above that and continue, I'm looking for areas or looking for price to retest those areas. Beta bot, do you think we go back to the low? I think it's still possible. One of the things that I am considering as price continues to pump, if we, let's say we're, bullish case scenario, we go to 48K, I'm going to be less inclined to say that we're going to go ahead and test new lows. If anything, I think we might range and maybe possibly retest major supports. But as of now, I think, yes, it's still likely, but if we continue to go higher, I think that percentage of that actually happening diminishes in my opinion. But that's a great question. But yeah, you can also see here 25K region is a good area of resistance. Maybe come back down, test it as support before continuing higher. That's definitely a scenario that could be happening. I'm not necessarily banking on that yet, but we'll just have to see how things develop. If we do get a rejection from here, or if we continue higher, it really depends. I'm just kind of waiting for see what price does, but you guys know the levels that I'm looking for, the trade setups I'm looking for BTC. And that's pretty much it. So let's move on to move on to Ethereum. So Ethereum, let's see, okay, good. I did not delete all of this on this chart. Good. So For ETH, I want to talk about the larger ideas, the larger levels first, the larger setups. And then we can go ahead and kind of work our way into our normal trading time frame. So first things first, I want to go over the most bearish case scenario. All right. In my opinion, we have an ABC that did complete the bear market, right? Or at least the first leg of the bear market. I think the most bearish case scenario is that this becomes a larger A. We're working on a larger B. And I think at some point we're going to be, it might take a while, but we are going to trend our way back down to new lows. That's going to be the worst case bearish scenario for ETH, in my opinion. And then from there, we're currently back under that 2030 bearish pivot, which is a very key area of resistance and also a very key pivot for me to short off of. I'm currently shorting. I don't know. I can give you guys my exact entry, but I'm currently in a short below that line, and I'm just holding. I'm just waiting to see. Hopefully, price can continue lower. If we get stopped out, I'll basically re-enter it until we get a major decision in one direction. But that to me is a very, very large setup. This completes a potential B wave, and we can go ahead and talk about possibly continuing lower. The next variation of what could be going on is kind of a mix between short-term bearish, long-term bullish, right? Is that we still have an ABC, but it's part of a larger structure that's maybe a more bullish structure. We're not necessarily looking for a continuation of the bear market. All right, so maybe that ABC was done. We have an ABC, which still prints a bearish reversal, but maybe this is part of a larger A, right? And then we're working our way back down to a larger B, possibly hopefully we can get a very good long setup down in these regions before we can go ahead and test and basically continue the upside. That's kind of the mix between short-term, the medium-term bearish, longer-term bullish. And then this is, wrong button. And then pretty much the most bullish idea. Oh, do I still have that? I do not. I thought I did. Basically, the most bullish idea is that maybe this is done. We have an A to a B to a C, and then we're just working on some sort of A. Maybe we don't get a larger of a pullback as we might think, and then we just continue higher. Definitely possible. But for Ethereum, that's pretty much it. I am short off of that 2032, and also, I long this level here, and I'm basically holding it just in case that we do continue to the upside. This wasn't the best entry I was hoping to get. Yeah, it was that one. But regardless, this was something that I thought of taking just in case we were, maybe not on or as much or as bearish as we were at that region. So I basically waited for that to come up and basically fill the order, and I'm still holding it. One more thing I want to talk about is the possibility of something like this happening. If I go to a 2 hour, it's almost on the same level as the previous position. It really depends on how this develops. If this can get a little bit more drawn out, yes, I'll absolutely take that. But until then, it's a possibility. If you guys want to take it, it really depends on how it develops. If we just dump straight back down, I probably won't take it. But if this takes its time to develop, gives us more of a clear separation and trend, then I'll go ahead and consider this a long position to go ahead and try to catch the next wave, just in case we're not as bearish as we might think. That's pretty much it for ETH. I always want to go over the resistance levels as well. Let's see. All right, so for ETH, I just want to let you guys know what the areas of resistance are, just in case we move in one direction or the other. You guys have an idea of what I am logically looking for when it comes to testing areas of resistance. So we tested 2030, right? We got above and we got a rejection. We're still currently holding under. If we continue to pump, All right. The next area of significant resistance to me is at 35.77. So to me, this is a major area for ETH at the moment. If we cannot regain above 2030 and push higher, um, to me, I'm still be more on the bearish side. But logically speaking, if we can remain above 2030, the next probable area to go ahead and test is at 35.77. Let's see. Sailable. Hi, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Can you take a look at CRV, please? Absolutely, BetaBot. Let me just get through. A couple more coins, and then I'll go ahead and take a look at CRV. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Ethereum. Let's do LTC real quick, just because I don't think LTC is really do anything too significant. Okay, so pretty much one of the main ideas I have for LTC is that we have an ABC, all right, that completed in a larger A. Maybe we're putting in a larger B. We just need to get a higher high above 105.43. And then we can consider the idea that we can go ahead and possibly test lower lows at around $40. Now, that's the most bearish idea. Bullish option is that maybe we just put in that larger pullback what we had back to $65. Maybe that was it. Maybe we just keep going and we can go ahead and possibly test 298, $300. So really depends on what happens at that region, but just letting you guys know, we could be still pretty bullish on LTC if we do not put in that reversal setup and hold it. Let's see. I'm in no setups when it comes to LTC supports. And I'm pretty much just taking it level by level, just waiting to see what happens. If we can get a large ABC setup, maybe I'll short it. But at the moment, I am not currently shorting LTC or any trades in LTC. I want to do XRP just because this is something I am currently, there's a trade I'm currently in and I'm currently attempting. So real quick, just to show you guys the trade that I'm in. I'm currently in this ABC long position. All right, we got above 48.10. And to me, this is a possible much larger A to a B to a C to where we continue higher. If we do break that resistance at around 55.90 and in 58.53, to me, the most important area to go ahead and test is 91.40. There are some resistances on the way up, but to be honest, I think that 91 region is definitely the most important level for me. So I'm taking this trade just in case we do continue to pump. If not, fantastic. I'll let it go. And we also have the shorts carrying us. So hopefully we can get hopefully we can get a better, more clear direction, or at least an answer to what Price wants to do, at least for XRP in the near future. One more thing for XRP is that currently as well, there is a short position off of this larger ABC. So if we go ahead and as long as we're below 55.90, there is still bearish pressure, and I would argue there's more bearish pressure than bullish. But just because that is the case doesn't mean I can't take proper setups below that region and anticipate price continuing higher. So if you guys are in that short, fantastic. I know some of my guys are, but I know that is definitely a good opportunity to at least attempt a short trade. All right. XRP. Let's do ADA quick. Okay, ADA is almost back at its entry. So at the moment, I'm also in an ADA trade. As long as we're below 48.12, that is a bearish pivot for me. One thing to also keep an eye on and understand is that we're currently above a macro pivot, bullish pivot, above 40.10, or sorry, 40 cents. Yeah, 40 cents 10. If that makes sense. And then as long as we're above that, we are bullish. But as you can see, we're kind of fighting in this region at the moment. So we'll wait and see how price reacts in this region. But I am currently shorting 40-18. All right. I know someone asked for CRV. All right. So BetaBot, if you're still in chat, nothing much has significantly changed since the last time we talked about it. Ultimately, I'm looking for one of these levels to be broken. We're kind of fighting in the range. You did have an ABC set up here, which was a decent short position, but at the moment, if we cannot continue lower, let's say we pump from here, I'm looking for $1.29. And then if we can continue to dump, if we get back below 80 and then reclaim that level, we'll get something like this. That's what I would consider entering. Not financial advice. We don't give financial advice on this channel, but we're just giving you my opinion, what I think is going to happen, what I would do in these case scenarios. All right. And then let's see. Does anybody else have any other coins? I'll do one more. If you guys are in Discord. Let me know if you guys want me to look at anything. If not, we can move on because I went over a good amount of coins there. Like I said, if you guys are in chat in the YouTube and Twitch end, say hello. It's good to see you guys. Ask questions if you have any. But if not, we'll move on to traditional markets. All right, we'll go on to traditional markets here. So we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I usually look at the SPY, but I actually want to look at the DXY first. All right, so on a much larger level, all right, we're currently holding a bullish ABC at the moment. That pivot is about $100.82. As long as you can remain above that, since you put in a lower low, I am going to be slightly more bullish on the DXY to about 103. The reason why you see that red line there is that if I go to a 2-day, all right, we are currently holding below a macro ABC pivot. So as long as we're below 103, the bearish setups do take a priority, but doesn't mean that we can't bounce in this range or before making a much larger move. So I definitely think that temporarily on the shorter term, I think I am going to be a little bit more bullish on the DXY as long as we're above 182. But currently we're kind of getting close to that area. I think we did not retest the entry, but keep that in mind and understand as well that the bearish does matter, but also we do have a bullish setup here as well. So looking to see if the DXY can push higher. If not, we're definitely going to continue lower, especially if we break below $100.82. All right, let's do the SPY. Okay, so I was looking for, let me just kind of erase this and walk you through what I was looking at. So for the SPY, we have an ABC. All right, originally, and I'm still looking for this. I'm looking for some sort of A to a B to a C scenario. All right, that's the most bearish case scenario in my opinion. All right, as long as we're below, as long as we're below 410.19, which is the previous ABC pivot of the larger B. To me, I'm going to be a little bit more bearish, and we could possibly see lower when it comes to going for the SPY. Ultimately, most bearish case scenario, I'm looking for the lowest low to be retested, broken under, and hopefully reclaimed. I'm at around 347.70. BetaBot, thanks for your TA for today. I got to work now. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. I do appreciate it. So, yeah. If we are going to be maintained below 410, that definitely is going to be a bearish area for me. Perhaps maybe putting in something like this, A to a B to a C, going lower. But yeah, I think ultimately, if we do not get a lower low past 347, I think that we're just due for a pullback. It would definitely continue higher. But ultimately, that's the bigger picture of what I'm looking for when it comes to the SPY. Let's see. Let's do gold. How's gold doing? Okay, gold's been kind of fighting in this region that we talked about before. For gold, there's a very large ABC. All right, so as long as gold, if gold can get back below 1960 and hold, to me, I'm going to be a little bit more bearish on gold itself. But if we continue to pump, the next level to go ahead and test is 2078. That's going to put in a much larger ABC. A 1 day is probably better. Yeah, this is going to put in a much larger ABC. This is a gigantic ABC, so there's going to be some wiggle room. I don't think it's going to exactly respect that level to the T. We're going to have some room to dance before ultimately making a decision. So that's more of a macro pivot for me, but definitely important to keep an eye out on. All right. Let's see. Besides that, I really don't see anything bullish for gold. Ultimately, if we do not put in a higher high, we can expect to see one more low. But since we are kind of close to that larger pivot, I'm going to be more inclined to say that gold is definitely going to go ahead and test 2078. But if not, I will keep an eye out on testing the low if we do not break above that previous high. All right. So for silver, almost the same thing. We have a bearish ABC here. All right. As long as we're below 24.58, I personally think that, if we can get back below there, that's going to be more of a bearish setup for me. I definitely think we have a higher possibility of going ahead and continuing lower. If we can maintain above that, the next logical step is to test the previous high at around $30. And from there, we can put in a potential much larger macro ABC. But until we get up there, I'll show you guys real quick, actually, off of this larger one. So if we can get above that, reclaim the level back below, we could perhaps talk about a larger retracement for silver. But until then, we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. What else? I did the SPY, gold, silver. I'll do BMW for Vlad.
That was what I was waiting for.
So pretty much for BMW, same thing. It's been kind of fighting around the $100.85 region. So if we can maintain, if we can get back below and stay below, I'm gonna be a little bit more bearish on BMW. Maybe do something like this. But if not, if we continue to push higher, the next logical step for me to see is about 124.30. So besides that, does anybody else want me to take a look at anything traditional market wise, whether you're here in the Discord or here in YouTube? I know there's a couple of people still here on the YouTube and Twitch end. Please feel free to ask any questions or if you want me to look at anything traditional market wise. Please let me know. All right. All right. If that's the case, then we're gonna go ahead and What was that?
Please do wrap up and also mention your YouTube channel and your community as well. That's a lot of value.
Absolutely. Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a stream, guys. That's pretty much it for today. If you guys want to learn more from me and you guys want to get more up-to-date stuff when it comes to TA setups, I definitely go ahead, you guys. Let me just go ahead and switch this over here. That's me. Hello, guys. Let's see. Share screen. Window. All right. The link for this is going to be in the description below. If you guys want to go ahead and check out my channel, I stream 3 times a week on my end. Let me guys show you on the Discord as well. No. So if you guys want to check out the channel, I would, the description. Oh, I'm sorry. The channel link is in the description below. I really would appreciate if you guys were to come on by, stop by the stream, say hello, ask questions, get more real-time updates from me, talk about different things similar to what we talked about today. If you're interested from learning more from me, I would love to have you on, or I'd love to see you guys in the chat, and you guys can ask any questions just like today's session, and hopefully you guys can learn something new from either today's stream or future streams. But I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks again for those who are here in the Discord, as well as who decided to come by on YouTube or Twitch. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I'll be here probably. I think I'll have to talk with William, because I think William and I agreed that we're going to go ahead and try doing Wednesdays for a couple of weeks, see if how that plays out. If not, if things don't work, we'll go back to Mondays. But yeah, I should be here probably next Wednesday again. If not, I'll let you guys know if the time slots have to change. But yeah, looking forward to see you guys on next week's stream here on David Tech's channel. Also, please subscribe to this live streaming channel, where you get access to not just me, but there's other people from other perspectives, other walks of life, people who trade different styles. I definitely think there's a lot of value when it comes to learning new things from not just me, from other people, other traders as well. So yeah, definitely go check out, subscribe to this channel if you guys are watching on YouTube. Really would appreciate it. Until next time, be good, be safe, trade smart, trade safe. You guys know the drill. I can go on all day, but until next time, folks, thank you guys so much.
Bye, everyone.